All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today we're diving into a really huge shift happening in the tech world, India's massive push to go from being the world's back office to its new factory floor and design lab. It's a story about pure ambition, incredible infrastructure, and some numbers that are just, well, they're mind-boggling.
So let's just start with a number that kind of sets the scene. $120 billion. That's the forecast for India's semiconductor market by 2030. We're talking a nearly threefold jump from 2023. You know, for an industry that is the absolute bedrock of all modern tech, that isn't just growth, that's a declaration of intent.
And that number really leads us to the big question we're tackling today. For decades, right, India has been known for its software and services, the world's back office. But something much, much deeper is happening right now. So let's explore how it's all unfolding layer by layer.
Okay, so first things first. Every huge ambition needs a rock-solid foundation. And the first part of India's story is all about building the digital highways, the connectivity, the infrastructure that's going to support everything else that comes next.
The very first layer of this foundation? Connectivity. And the sheer scale of the 5G rollout is just wild. It's projected to shoot up from around 270 million subscribers to nearly a billion in just 6 years. This is literally what it looks like to bring an entire nation online at lightning speed.
And you have to understand, this isn't the work of just one company. There's this whole ecosystem at play. You've got operators like Bharti Airtel who manage the network for hundreds of millions of people, while firms like Indus Towers own the actual physical stuff, like 190,000 towers that make it all possible. It's like one builds the road and the other one drives the traffic.
And this isn't just a domestic project, not by a long shot. The world's biggest cloud giants, we're talking Microsoft, Amazon, Google, they are pouring billions into building massive data centers right there on Indian soil. This does way more than just signal confidence. It physically plugs India into the global data backbone right from the ground up.
So you've got those digital highways in place. Now what? Now we look at the engine. This is the super vibrant ecosystem of services and platforms that are running on those rails, and they're creating just immense economic value.
Get this. Here's one number that just captures the sheer momentum of this digital engine. India's e-commerce sector is projected to quadruple, to grow 4 times, hitting almost $300 billion by 2030. That is the single biggest jump of any high-tech sector in the country.
And this growth isn't just about one or two giant players. It's a super rich, diverse ecosystem. You've got specialized retailers like Nykaa for beauty. You have food delivery giants like Zomato, B2B marketplaces like IndiaMart connecting businesses, and, of course, the absolutely crucial logistics backbone from companies like Delivery. Each one of these is a massive industry on its own.
But this engine is also powering businesses all over the world. India's classic IT giants are morphing into AI powerhouses. I mean, look at a company like Infosys. Almost 90% of its revenue from these new-age digital projects comes from North America and Europe. They're not just building AI for India. They're deploying it for the world's biggest companies.
You know, whenever a digital economy booms this fast, a new industry inevitably booms right alongside it. Cybersecurity. It just makes sense. As all these digital assets grow, the market to keep them safe is set to triple, creating another massive, high-growth sector in parallel.
So, this brings us to the third, and I'd say the most ambitious act in this whole story. India is now making a very deliberate, really high-stakes leap from its traditional strength in software to the incredibly complex world of hardware and deep tech manufacturing.
Okay, before we go any further, we need to quickly define a key term here, a fab. Just think of it like a cathedral of modern technology. It is an unbelievably complex, multi-billion-dollar, ultra-clean factory where computer chips, the brains inside every single electronic device, are born.
And this right here leads us to a truly stunning fact. Despite its massive tech services industry, despite that $120 billion market ambition we talked about, India currently has zero operational commercial chip-making fabs. This just highlights the sheer audacity of this goal. They're trying to enter a critical global industry from a complete standstill.
But semiconductors aren't the only frontier. The electric vehicle and battery sector is another huge target, with revenues projected to grow somewhere between 6 and 8 times by 2030. This is a very clear move to capture the future of how we all get around.
Now, this right here shows that strategy in action. This isn't just about building for the local market. Just follow the journey. An Indian company, Sona Comstar, makes a vital EV part. They then ship that part to global auto giants, and it literally ends up inside a Tesla in China or an electric pickup truck in America.
That's what deep supply chain integration looks like.
And the final frontier is, well, literally, space. What used to be a purely government-run program is now this bustling commercial ecosystem. You've got these legacy engineering giants building entire rockets, specialized firms making critical engine parts, and a whole wave of new startups. And again, notice the global link. Amazon is contracting with India's space agency to launch its satellites.
Okay, phew, we have covered a lot of ground from 5G towers all the way to rocket engines. So let's just pull it all together and try to understand the bigger picture of what's happening with this transformation. You know, when you really pull it all together, you see, it's not just a collection of separate industries. It's a very deliberate three-layer strategy. First, you build the digital foundation. Second, you run a powerful economic engine on top of it. And third, you use that strength to push into the most advanced technological frontiers out there. Each layer makes the next one possible.
And if there's one single phrase that captures this entire strategy, this is it. It's the theme we've seen again and again across every single sector, from EV parts to AI services. The goal here isn't just self-reliance. It's to become a critical design and manufacturing hub for the entire world.
Which leaves us with one final big question to think about. We are living in a time where global supply chains are being completely redrawn. So with this multi-layered, incredibly ambitious strategy in motion, is India positioning itself to become the world's next essential, indispensable technology partner? That's definitely something to think about. Thanks for joining,